The continuity of people in this region is thousands of years old. Everything that goes for well-being is here on the land. Move us out of that and you might as well make us non-beings.
Utopia, some 300 kilometres northeast of Alice Springs, is home to the Alyalwara and Unmatjera people. Somehow, they've survived everything that's been thrown at them since European settlement. Their ancestral lands have nurtured internationally celebrated artists and produced significantly better health and economic outcomes than most Indigenous Australians. But for many of the territory's Aboriginal people, the remoteness of homelands like Utopia hides a shameful fact. The federal government has spent hundreds of millions of dollars over the last few years on housing in growth centres and town camps in the Northern Territory, but the homelands have been forgotten. In Utopia alone, as many as 100 people are living in humpies like this one with no power, no sanitation and no running water. And it's that kind of neglect that's adding to the pressure on them to leave their land. Valda, this is where you sleep?
Yeah.
In this truck?
Yeah.
Now, how many of you sleep in here?
2 kids and me and Roscoe.
On cold midwinter mornings, Valda warms water over an open fire to bathe her children before school. But like most of us, she aspires to something better. How would you like to be living?
I want to stay in the new house with the shower and got toilet and kitchen.
When you think about your children and their future, why is it important that they stay here?
Because that's their country and we can go anywhere.
Rosalie Kunoth-Monks is mayor of Utopia, and she's no doubt that stripping the homelands of funding will push her people off their ancestral land.
Nobody can live in these houses. Just walk a mile in our shoes and see how one would feel about getting things that are not even shelter.
Decades ago, the Northern Territory government built some housing, and Janie's is typical, a 3-roomed corrugated iron shack. And you pay $50 a week per person, so $100 a week for here, for you and your husband and the family. And when you ask for things to be repaired, to be fixed, what happens?
I don't do anything.
Yet these homelands also have a positive story to tell. A promising network of schools, a highly successful health service, and the benefits of staying on country are many. From less diabetes and longer life expectancy, to the near absence of chronic alcoholism and violence, to economic opportunities. You sell this to the man in town.
For 250, one bucket.
And of course, there's the artists.
Surely this gives an insight into what Australia could treasure of the past as well as marrying it into the present. In real terms, to have decent education, decent access of housing, that's what I see.
At 75, Rosalie feels she's living proof of the way forward.
I'm a perfect example of marrying the two. I mean, I'd like you to speak to me in my language.
And I wish I could. In her Utopia, the world's oldest continuous culture will find its place in modern Australia. I think that after spending a couple of days here listening to people, I've kind of grasped what it is they want, and that is to live in 21st century Australia, but without having to give up the rituals, the practices, the traditions, and this place, that's their home.
I do belong here. I was born here. I speak this language. I would feel absolutely devastated if I was never to see my homelands again.